Hey guys, welcome back. And in my last video I explained about DTO, what is DTO, and why do we use it in our Spring Boot projects. And in this video I will guide you about DTO and Mapper and how to work with them. So let's get on with it. So this is my project that I have uploaded on my GitHub repository. So let's continue. First we will create a package by the name of Mapper, and now we'll create a user DTO class and also user Mapper, and we'll do the same for address DTO DTO and address Mapper. Yeah, so let's just copy these from user model to user DTO, and we'll add one more annotation here to include non-null JSON non-null. Yeah, I'll copy all the values in the model in the DTO, and let's just remove the annotations and unnecessary code. Yeah, so we had that user account, and instead we'll call it user DTO, and let's just remove it if it's not. Now we'll do the same for our user. We'll copy everything from user model to user DTO class. Except for address. We don't want to show addresses in when we get the user object. We just want to show a user when we get the address object, because a user can have multiple addresses. An address cannot have multiple users living there, obviously. So that's that, and let's just copy all the annotations from here to user DTO, and we're done with the DTO classes. Now we'll move towards user Mapper, and let's make our first function public static user. Let's call it toUser, and user DTO, yes. Okay, good here. And if user DTO is not equal to null, sorry, let's just return null here, or else return user dot builder, and now we'll dot id user DTO dot get id dot job title user DTO, yeah, dot last name. You can ignore the order of the columns here. That's that. I will copy the function and make one for user DTO. Let's remove DTO from here and here and here, just to call the list of users that I will guide you through it in next few steps. Okay, so with the what am I doing wrong here? Okay, user DTO, yeah. Now if we need to update the user using the DTO, we'll do it this way. I'll put extra space there. User to update user, and let's pass two objects here, user and update user. I have made the function to update the user using the user mapper class. So I want user here and set job title, and here we put update user.get job title. And now, following the ternary equation here, we'll say user.get job title and update. Now what we are doing here is we are getting the data from user object. We are getting the data from update user and setting it on user. Now we are using two objects here, and one is from the request body in our JSON API, and another one is when we get the object of user from database using the user ID. That is that. Now I'll paste it here, and let's just say set last name, copy it here, here, and two other places. Get last name and set first name, get first name, and get first name, and again get first name. And I think we're good to go here with the user mapper class. And, oh, we have an error. Okay, return user. So that's that from the user mapper class. Now we'll go into our address mapper, and to carry on with it, we'll just make a static function just like we did in the user mapper class. So following up address DTO, okay, so if address DTO is not equal to null, equal to null, otherwise it won't go in here, return null. Okay, otherwise return address dot builder and dot address one, address dot get address one dot address two, address 3, and vice versa, following all the fields, city and country, get country, And now the important part, you see we have a user account object here. Now what we do here is we'll write user mapper, and we made a toUser function which returns the user DTO, and we are going to bound it with address DTO user account. Also a transient account ID that we used for reference. Yeah, so that's that. And we make few extra functions in this class. So it's vice versa, and we call it toUser DTO. What is that? Okay, so here we are. Now we'll make the function to update the address public static to update address. Yeah, and just like what we did in date address. Why is it giving the error? Oh, my bad. Let's just say address and return address. And before we return address, we'll make a few changes here. Get, yeah. Now, following the ternary equation as we did in following the ternary equation, I think it's update, and this one is address, and after the colon we put update address. Yes. Now address 2, address 3, country, city, and also user account ID. Set account ID, get account ID, and get account ID, get account ID. Now set address 2, address 2, address 2, and 2. Just write 3 here, 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 also here. Call it set city, get city, get city. Okay, so we are good to go here. And now the two most important functions in our address mapper class are the ones I'm about to make. it's actually util. Yeah, so there are two functions. First we'll return the list using the DTO object, the address object, and afterwards we'll return the list using the DTO object. List, oh, list address DTO, address DTOs. Okay. What I like about using IntelliJ is that the intelligence is amazing. Seriously, like the suggestions, the variable names it provides you with is so good. It's make it easy to come up with the variable names. Some might struggle in that. Collectors, which one is it? Collectors dot to list. Okay, so what's the matter here? I don't get it. Okay, I put an E and S here extra. Yeah. So main task of this tutorial is the mapper. The good you understand the mapper class, the better you understand. The design pattern. Okay, let's see what errors do I have here. Clashes with, oh, okay. Two addresses. Let's just call it to address and to address DTO. Are we good here? Yeah. So moving on to our user service. So this is our previous code. I'm using it. You can avail it in my GitHub repository. I'll update the updated code on my GitHub repository, and I'll provide you guys with the link in the description. Feel free to learn from it. And what do I need to change here? Okay, let's just remove optional from here. We don't need that now. And in here, let's just call it, yeah, user optional equal to, and I will add Spring to the magic here, or else say no. So this is the Spring magic. You can actually learn from it and avail it. As far as you're working with the SpringBoot, I suggest that you use the inner functionalities and the framework's own functions. As long as you use those, your code is amazing. So anyhow, so firstly we'll auto wire user service, and So what do I need to change in our saver update? Okay, let's just remove here, and first things first, let's just say, since we are using update 2, let's just say get id not equal to null, and we'll call it address data equal to address repository dot get one address dot get id, and if that is null, address data dot get what am I doing wrong here? Null. Yeah, otherwise we will update it using the address mapper to update address, and we'll override address data object on address. Yeah, so I think we are good to go here. So moving on, if address dot get account id not equal to null, we also need to update the account id user and user service dot find by id address dot get account id. Yeah, and we will set address dot set user account, and we will pass user here. So moving on, we will return address repository and the address object data. Yeah, okay, so moving on, if address dot get account id is not equal to null, then do this on address object. I'm kind of worried about what I did here, but let's see if it works. Yeah, we are good to go. And finally, the controller. First, let's set the user here. We don't need user optional because we added up in our user service. So we call user DTO here, and let user mapper to user DTO. Yeah, fine. So this is how we use the mapping functions. Coming into our address controller, let's see what I want to do here. Okay, so first things first, let's add DTO here and also address DTO. What's wrong with my intelligence? Okay, now we will let address mapper return the object. Yeah. And let's see, why is it not working? Okay. Oh, my bad. We also need to return the object here via the address. Yeah. So this is the magic you will see in the Postman. Let's just say list, because we have multiple addresses for a user, and I'll put a static here, and I think the path variable will work out for us. So we will also allow our address mapper to return the DTO dot to, why is it not returning the list? Let's check in our address mapper. Two addresses, two address DTOs. Yeah, let's just say no. We want dot two address DTOs. What's wrong with this? Oh, my bad. I have not added the DTO object here, so it was conflicting with my mapper. What is the error here? What is wrong with it? Non-static. I did not make. Okay, I need to put a static here. Yeah, it's good to go. And inside the DTO, I will return the user object. And we have an error here. I think it's the function name, and we actually want to put, okay, so coming into our repository, we want find by user account, and in our service we don't have that function, so let's just copy it from here and write it here. And now coming into our address service, we will return the object from our repository. So first we will fetch the account from user service and by ID, and let's say I think we should use long here for the user ID and also add it up here because the function in the controller have the user ID. And now we will return address repository. Yeah, user object. So it's a bit tricky what I have done here. I'm actually getting the find by user account. So I'm actually getting the user account with the help of user ID. So the user ID comes in and it goes all the way to the DTO. And in here I'm returning the user account by the user account ID by fetching it from here. I think we are good to go here. Let's just run the project and test it all on the Postman. Yeah. So in here I have an object, and let's create a user with my name. Yeah. Just call it Sharek and Shake. I'm a Java developer. Okay. So I have an ID 32 and addresses are null, obviously. So let's add an address 32 and here we will say test address. Karachi, Pakistan is fine. Oh, okay, so it's showing null and user mapper. Assert not. Oh, my bad. It's double equal, and here also let's just run it again. We need this condition here, otherwise if the user ID is null, it will go into the DTO and destroy the code and throw up the null pointer exception. So we need to put a condition here. So let's do it again and let's turn off the debugger. Resume. There you go. So it doesn't matter how many addresses I add. Test address 2, it will bring on just one object. Let's just get the user ID is 32. Bingo. So as you can see, you are getting two addresses from a single user. And if we add another address, let's just call it test address 3, and now we run again, find addresses by user ID. We have 3 objects here. Okay, so that's that by my side. Thanks for watching, and please don't forget to subscribe and click on our like button if you learned anything. See you in the next video. Thank you so much.